Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Bitcoin is flashing a new bearish signal on this chart, while the price is now running into a critical area of support, getting closer towards a potential break to the downside, while Ethereum is already breaking below critical support and still playing out this short-term bearish signal. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the 3-day Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin has not yet broken the higher low, higher high price structure on the larger time frames, which means technically speaking, the price is still within a larger bullish trend, at least for now on the larger time frames, also known as a bull market. And we also still have this hidden bullish divergence on the 3-day Bitcoin chart with higher lows in the price and lower lows in the RSI, as we can see right here. And so once again, technically speaking, on the larger time frames like the 3-day chart, for example, we're still looking more bullish than bearish if we're talking about the larger moves or the larger trend in the market. But as I always say, it's important to understand the difference between the different time frames. So just because we could still be within a larger bullish trend on the 3-day chart, we can still see short-term dumps and short-term pullbacks here and there during a larger bullish trend. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, taking a look at the DXY, and what we are now seeing in the DXY is actually a spike to the upside, at least just in the shorter term. And this is technically a bearish signal for Bitcoin, because as we can see here time and time again, when the DXY is moving significantly in the bullish direction, that is almost always bearish for Bitcoin. And once again, what we are seeing right now is a bit more of a bounce back to the upside in the DXY, which is a warning signal that we need to pay attention to, because if we see a further bullish reversal in the DXY, like what we saw back here or back here, for example, then that would basically be a bearish reversal signal for Bitcoin, telling us that we're about to reverse from a bullish trend on the daily time frame into a new bearish trend, like what we saw just here and just here when we're talking about the trends on the daily time frame. And as of right now, the price of Bitcoin has been within this bullish trend over the last 3 to 4 weeks. So nearly 1 month now, the price has been trending in the bullish direction. And typically these shorter term trends on the daily time frame last for around a month to sometimes multiple months. But once again, zooming out to the 3-day chart, those short-term bullish and bearish trends make up the much larger bullish trend on the 3-day chart that we've been in since basically the beginning of 2023. And so once again, this is not necessarily a bearish reversal signal for the 3-day chart, this trend right here, but it is potentially a bearish reversal signal for the daily trend on the daily time frame if we see more of a bullish reversal in the DXY over the next few days. And so as always, I'll be sure to keep you up to date on what's happening here in the DXY and many other important charts in these videos every day. So make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos. And if we're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin RSI, we are also now seeing a bit more of a pullback in the daily Bitcoin RSI, similar to what we saw back here. And so ultimately, we'll need to see some more confirmation that we're actually reversing back in the bearish direction in order to confirm that by seeing, for example, some lower highs or lower lows in the RSI, which at least as of right now have not yet formed. Because if we're taking a look at this example back in early October, once again, we saw a pullback in the price and a pullback in the RSI during the larger bullish move or the bullish trend. But the Bitcoin price remained in higher lows and higher highs, and not only the Bitcoin price, but also the daily Bitcoin RSI also remained forming higher lows and higher highs. We did not break that bullish price structure. And so once again, these bullish trends can contain short-term pullbacks, but it is worth paying attention to these possible warning signals, because if we see a further pullback and start forming some lower highs and lower lows in the RSI, or a further bullish reversal in the DXY, then once again, those will be the signals to watch out for a possible trend reversal on the daily time frame from this bullish trend that lasted for around 1 month into possibly a new bearish trend if we see more confirmation. But at this stage, we have not really seen a lot of confirmation. We're just seeing some possible early warning signals that we need to pay attention to. And with that being said, taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is still running into this critical area of support sitting in between around 67,000 to 68,000. And at least at the time of recording this video, we have not yet confirmed any daily candle closes below 67,000, which means at least for now, we have not confirmed a break to the downside. And so for all we know, this could just be another retest of this support before we potentially see another bounce from this area. But if we were to see a confirmed break below 67,000 with daily candle closes confirming below 67k, then in that case, we could likely retrace back down towards this next area of support sitting in between around 63 to 64,000. And so due to that potential scenario, obviously for the bulls out there, 67,000 is a critical level to hold above, at least when we're talking about the shorter term for the price of Bitcoin. And even if we remain above that level, at least for now, we're still technically looking somewhat neutral while the price is remaining above 67,000. Obviously, if we break 67,000, then in the immediate short term, we'll start looking a little bit more bearish again. But until then, if we're still holding above this support, as I've said over the last 1 week or so, we're looking relatively neutral as the price is basically chopping around sideways in this sideways price range in between this support and this area of resistance, which is still sitting in between 72,000 to 74,000. And so when it comes to my trading strategy right now for the price of Bitcoin, as of right now, and as I've been saying basically every day over the last 3 to 4 weeks, I'm still currently in this Bitcoin long position, which I actually began entering below $60,000. And back then I was even sharing that I am entering into a long position when the price was below $60,000. And every day since then, I've been very transparently sharing this trading strategy on this channel. And so once again, at least for now, I'm still currently holding this Bitcoin long position. And as of right now, I have already secured some profits at some slightly higher prices right here. And also my stop loss is in profits above my entry. And so that basically means in the worst case scenario, if we see a further break to the downside here and more of a bearish trend reversal on the daily time frame for the price of Bitcoin, in that scenario, I would still come away with profits from this trade because once again, I've already taken some profits off the table and that stop loss would close the rest of the trade in profits at that level right there if we see more of a bearish reversal for Bitcoin. But once again, for all we know, the price could still find support in this area and potentially bounce further to the upside from this area. And so due to that, I'm still holding this long position open. But if we were to see a break below around 67,000, I'd potentially look to take a little bit more profits off the table just from this long position right here, which by the way pays out in Bitcoin. So it's not like I'm selling Bitcoin. And in the more bullish scenario, if we see a further bounce back to the upside from this area of support, in that case, if the price returns up towards around 72 to 74,000, I would also look to take a little bit more profits off the table around that area of resistance, as I also did right at 72,000, which I shared here on the channel that I was going to do that before the price even hit 72,000. And so at least for now, that is my Bitcoin trading strategy. And as you can see right here, so far it has been working very well over the last few weeks. So if you've been watching this channel over the last few weeks, you should be making a lot of easy money as well. And if you also want to take trades just like this for yourself, then personally, I'm taking this trade right here over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can claim an exclusive 200 USDT airdrop position just by making a Bybit account using that link, making a deposit and claiming their airdrop. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex down below this video as an alternative crypto exchange. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can see over the last one day, once again, we took out a little bit more downside liquidity, which was at around 67.3K, give or take. And so basically what we've been seeing over the last few days is there's been more and more long positions slowly opening up as the price has been pulling back. So a lot of late long positions are coming into the market at the moment with high leverage, and essentially the price is just slowly liquidating those longs as we're going a little bit lower and lower to the downside, just ever so slightly in the short term. And so that's why personally in my trading strategy, I usually like to scale my entries when it comes to these trades. Basically, I don't enter all at once at one particular price level. I essentially have multiple buy orders. In the case of a long position, I would have multiple buy orders spread out to the downside. So if the price continues dumping, then basically I'd slowly scale in further to that trade and lower my average entry. And also, if I'm looking to scale into a Bitcoin trade to try and catch a low, for example, as I did right here, when I'm entering into the trade, I start off with very low leverage, as in less than 5 leverage, usually like 3x leverage, for example. And then as the trade moves into profits, and especially if my stop loss is in profits, then I'm basically free to increase leverage to free up some margin if I want, because my liquidation price is still below my entry and below the stop loss. But even though I implement that trading strategy, which works out great in my situation, as you can see right here in terms of risk to reward ratio, obviously a lot of traders in the market do not have very good risk management and they open high leverage positions basically late to the market, which is what we've been seeing over the last few days. And so that's when the market punishes anyone that is late to a trade or has basically no risk management, as we're seeing just here. The market is slowly liquidating any new long positions that are opening up on high leverage. But with that being said, we still have a lot of liquidity sitting to the upside, still sitting at around 70.7K and going up towards around 71,000. And so it is still quite likely that the price could return up towards those higher prices. And once the price eventually crosses above around 71 to 72,000, that could potentially liquidate a lot of positions, causing a further short squeeze, which would be bullish for Bitcoin if we actually cross above those prices. But with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, and as of right now, the bullish breakout for the bullish falling wedge is technically still active because we have not yet broken back below the point of the breakout, which is sitting at around 3.2K. That would be the point of invalidation. And with that being said, the bullish price target for this breakout is still sitting at around 40.70, basically this previous high. But as I already said around 1 week ago, obviously the price has already gotten very close to that price target. So I would not necessarily want to enter a new long position right here in the hopes of just to trade that little move right there towards the price target, because obviously the potential risk compared to the potential reward is not worth that trade. As always, when it comes to my trading strategy, not financial advice. And so essentially the opportunity for that breakout trade was the point of the breakout, which I also shared here on the channel before it actually happened. And if we're taking a look at the 8-hour time frame, what we are now seeing is actually a break to the downside back below this previous Fibonacci level of resistance, which was temporarily acting as a bit of short-term support, and that was sitting at around 38.20. And at least for now, we have seen a solid 8-hour candle close confirming below that level, which technically is one confirmation signal confirming the break back to the downside. And so because this is starting to play out, we could potentially see a further drop back down towards this golden pocket sitting in between around 3.6K to 36.50, which is acting as strong support as we've seen previously. And also, one of the reasons as to why we're seeing a bit of a pullback at the moment for the price of ETH is due to this bearish divergence, which is still perfectly playing out over the last 1 to 2 days. And obviously, I've been warning about this bearish divergence since basically this exact high right here. I mentioned around 2 days ago that the price is forming this new bearish divergence, and I mentioned in my last video that this new bearish divergence is now confirmed and playing out. And so, like I said, over the last couple of days, we should be expecting either a short-term pullback or at the very least some sort of sideways consolidation as the most likely outcomes just over the next couple of days, rather than any significant bullish price action. And so obviously this bearish divergence is still playing out exactly as expected and should continue to play out at least just in the short term, as in possibly over the next 1 to 2 days or so, considering we're still seeing lower highs and lower lows forming in the RSI. But as the RSI approaches oversold territories, which could potentially happen within the next few days if we continue to play out the bearish divergence, as that actually happens, then in that case, potentially in a day or two from now, if the RSI approaches oversold territories, that would mean that the bearish divergence is approaching an end. We're basically no longer playing out the bearish divergence once we start reaching oversold territories, which as of right now has not happened. But if we continue to play out the bearish divergence, that could happen within the next couple of days. And with that being said, taking a look at the price of Solana on the 8-hour time frame, and right now the price of Solana is still finding perfect resistance in this area of resistance that I've been talking about over the last few days. And so once again, this area of resistance is still sitting in between 167 to 172, but if we see a confirmed breakout back above 172 with candle closes back above that level, then in that case, we could potentially see another move back up towards this next area of resistance, sitting in between around 182 to 186 approximately. And we also have more resistance up here at around $200 to $210. And as for short-term support, we do have support at around $160, and that is a critical level to hold above, because if we break below 160, that would also completely invalidate this previous breakout to the upside and that bullish price target for this inverse head and shoulders pattern. And so basically, if we break below that support level at 160, then in that case, we could potentially see a further retracement towards this next area of support, sitting in between 140 to 144. But at least for now, in the somewhat shorter term here for the price of Solana, it's kind of lacking momentum because we're basically chopping around sideways just in the shorter term between support and resistance. So that is the situation right now, just in the shorter term. And as always, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.